In this video, we're going to cover the 7 long-term health benefits of fasting. By doing 1 day a week, it can be much easier to implement and more sustainable over a long period of time. The first one being increased autophagy. Autophagy is basically eating up and recycling old damaged proteins throughout your body. So that way you get rid of all the junk in your cells that shouldn't be there. When you're younger, your body does a really good job at cleaning out those damaged proteins. However, as we age, our bodies start to accumulate more and more damaged proteins, and damaged proteins equals disease. So autophagy becomes very important to reduce inflammation in your body, to help you heal faster, to improve your immune system, and to prevent diseases such as cancer and Alzheimer's, just to name a few. There was actually a study published in the journal Aging where they took 18 healthy individuals between the ages of 24 and 37 years old. They had them do daily fasting with 2 16-hour feeding windows, so pretty much the same as a 161 fast. They did that for 3 months, and what they found was an average 30% increase in autophagy. Then they compared that data to a group of people who didn't change their diet or their lifestyle in any way. And they found that the people who fasted had a 30% increase in autophagy, whereas the other group had a 20% decrease in autophagy. Meaning over time we naturally lose autophagy, but when we add fasting we can greatly increase it. And the cool thing is it takes just 1 day a week to achieve this. So not only will you have increased autophagy over the long term, but it also helps to balance out your schedule, making it easier to implement and stick to over the long term. The second benefit is weight loss. When you're younger, your metabolism naturally is faster, meaning you burn more calories throughout the day. As we age, our metabolism slows down, especially after 40. It can slow down drastically. This is mainly due to muscle loss. As we age, we naturally lose muscle, which means our basal metabolic rate goes down because muscle tissue is metabolically active tissue. So the less muscle we have, the fewer calories we'll burn throughout the day. And that is why fasting 1 day a week can be extremely helpful, because by doing 1 day a week, you're still going to tap into fat much earlier than if you were to just cut your calories throughout the whole week. For example, if you cut your calories by 500 calories per day from Monday through Friday, but then you eat normally over the weekend, chances are you won't lose weight because you'll end up binging over the weekend. Whereas if you were to fast 1 day a week, let's say Saturday, and you drop your calories another 500 calories, you're gonna be able to tap into fat a little bit sooner than if you just did 5 days a week. In fact, I worked with a client who was struggling to lose weight. He tried everything. He went to the gym 5 times a week. He cut his calories. He even counted his macros. And he was frustrated because he wasn't losing weight. So I told him to try fasting 1 day a week. All he did was go to the gym 4 times a week instead of 5, and he started fasting 1 day a week. He lost over 20 pounds in a relatively short period of time. No, 3 is improved insulin sensitivity. If you look at populations around the world that have the lowest rates of chronic disease, diabetes, and obesity, it's typically people who practice some form of fasting. Why? Because they're in touch with their food. When we were younger, we were taught to clean our plates. We were taught to not waste food. We were taught that if we see food, we should eat it. And this has created a culture where now we don't know when to stop eating. So one of the biggest problems in our society is insulin resistance. Pretty much every single condition that you see out there today is either directly or indirectly related to insulin resistance. So improving insulin sensitivity is probably one of the best things you can do for your overall health. And fasting 1 day a week can be extremely helpful to improve insulin sensitivity, as well as to prevent chronic conditions such as diabetes. Number 4 is reduced inflammation. Inflammation is one of the root causes for most modern diseases. So reducing inflammation can greatly improve your quality of life. It can help you live longer. It can help you have fewer aches and pains. It can help you feel better overall, And one of the easiest ways to reduce inflammation is to add in fasting. So again, you'd want to fast 1 day a week. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not like you're going to fast 1 day a week and then next week you're going to have no inflammation. But over time, it will reduce your inflammation. No, 5 is improved heart health. One of the best things you can do to improve your heart health is to add in fasting. A recent meta-analysis that was done of 15 different studies concluded that intermittent fasting could improve heart health markers such as high-density lipoprotein, cholesterol, and triglycerides. Now, the reason why fasting is so great for your heart is because you're reducing inflammation, you're reducing insulin resistance, you're losing weight, and all of those factors have a huge impact on your heart health. No, 6 is improved brain health. If you've been following for a while, you already know how beneficial fasting is for your brain. Fasting can help improve your focus, it can help improve your cognition, it can help you sleep better, it can help you think clearer, and it can even help improve neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. This is because when you fast, you stimulate something called ketosis. Ketosis is a metabolic state where your body burns fat for energy instead of glucose. When you're burning fat for energy, you're producing ketones. And ketones are one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory molecules out there. Not only that, but ketones are also powerful antioxidants. So they can protect your brain against oxidation and free radical damage. And no, 7 is longevity. If you look at animals, if you take the calorie intake of an animal and you drop it by anywhere between 30 and 40%, that animal will live significantly longer. We've tested this out on mice. We've done it on fruit flies. We've even done it on monkeys, and what we found is that by dropping their calories by 30 to 40%, they live longer. So what does this mean for humans? Well, this is where fasting 1 day a week comes in. Let's say you're at 2,000 calories per day. You would drop that by 30 to 40%, which means you would be at about 1,400 calories. So you could do that 6 days a week, but 1 day a week you could fast. Or you could just always keep it at 1,400 calories, but by adding in fasting 1 day a week, you'll have the benefits of autophagy, you'll have the benefits of reducing inflammation, you'll have the benefits of reducing insulin resistance. And by doing 1 day a week, it's balanced, it's sustainable, it's realistic, and it works. Now, obviously, there's many more benefits than just these 7, but these are some of the big ones that you'll experience over time. And again, when it comes to fasting 1 day a week versus fasting every single day, it's much easier to implement and balance into your lifestyle. When you're younger, you're busier, you work longer hours, you socialize more. So finding time to fast every single day can be difficult. But by doing 1 day a week, it is much easier and it is more likely that you stick with it and get the benefits over time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys and gals so much. And as always, I'll see you on the next video.